Yeah, so I just watched the movie, the strange things about the Johnsons, and I found out about it because I was on Facebook, and I was like, okay, everybody's like, this movie's sick, this movie's sick, so me, I'm like, okay, let me go watch it. So I watched the movie, and in the beginning, it's like weird, like a little boy, like teenager or whatever, like look like he in middle school. You're jacking off or whatever. I'm like, okay, this is not strange. It's not sick. Okay, whatever. So I'm like, his father walks in, busting on him. Something normal that happens to teenagers, some teenage boys, I guess. And the father is like, oh, I'm sorry, and walks back out. And then he comes back in asking, like, can he come back in? Which to me, I thought was weird because I'm like, why you want to come back in? Like, you just seen what he was doing. Like, give him some time to get himself together. You get me? Like, why you want to come in right after? But whatever. So he comes in and he's like, son, it's perfectly normal. Everybody does it. Whatever. The son's like, do you do it? And to me, I wish he would have probably said, I've done it. Or, it seems like he didn't want to say, like, oh, I do it. But he could have been like, I've done it when I was your age, whatever. Like a father son talk. So I'm like, okay. Normally, it's father son talk. But when the dad leaves the room, the picture that the son was jacking off to, he was like you look at it, where they show you the picture, and it's the picture of his dad. So I'm like, okay, that's weird, you know. Then they fast forward like 14 years later when the son is getting married. So I'm like, okay, son getting married or whatever. And like they're taking like a photo, photos that you take when you get married, whatever. I guess like little family photos. So they were taking the photo, and the dad was next to him, and the wife, her parents were next to her on her side. And he was like, he like whispered in his dad's ear, like, "Thank you, Dad, for everything that you do." So I'm like, okay, whatever. But then the camera shows like it pans to the back of his dad, and he like slide his hand all the way down to his dad's butt, and he grab it. So I'm like, whoa, like damn, like what's going on? So the dad is kind of like uncomfortable. Like you can tell he's uncomfortable. He's like, like the face, like where like somebody's making you do something that you really don't want to do. So I'm like, okay. So then later on that day, I guess it was like the reception or whatever, and the mom is looking for, like the son's mom is looking for the son. So she's looking around, and she can't find him. She's like, have you seen such and such? I forgot his name, whatever. I'm not good with names. So she's like, have you seen such and such? And everybody like, no, no, no. And she like hears this noise, like a kissing and moaning or whatever, in like the back porch type of thing. And she looks through the little hole, like, look, being nosy. I be nosy too, like, what's going on? And she sees her son, her husband, and she see, like the son kissing all over the husband, and about to give him oral, whatever. It doesn't show it, but it's, it's like, whoa, you feel me? Like me as a parent, well, if I was a parent or whatever, or it just as a person in general, like I would have busted in, like, hey, what's going on here? Like, what y'all doing? But she was looking at the dad, and the dad looks so uncomfortable, like, and I'm like, is the son raping the dad? That's when it came to me, like, is the son raping the dad? Like, what's going on? So then, fast forward, at the house, the son's wife was at the house or whatever. I guess they had a little family dinner, and the mom told the son, like, the old back, going back, the mom was like, she turned around, like, she didn't say nothing. She just walked away, like, gathered herself and walked away. So I'm like, okay, maybe she gonna talk to the dad about it later, to see what's up. So then, what happened? Uh, oh yeah, it was family dinner. Family dinner. So the mom told the son to go get the dad, whatever, tell him dinner ready. And the dad was writing a book, I guess his autobiography about everything that was happening with his son and everything. And he was just like basically, I guess, pouring his feelings into his book. I guess he was an author. And the son was like, the son was coming, he heard him coming, so he was like trying to turn the computer off, and I'm like, oh my god, this always happen every time you're doing something you ain't got no business, or you feel me, like doing something you don't want people to know about, somebody about to catch you and shit just don't want to turn off. It's like, oh my god, come on. So that's when the son came around the corner. He was like, Dad, dinner's ready, and like normally, and then just walked back. So that's after the son came, the computer shut off. It's like, bruh, really? So then what happened? Okay, they was having dinner, and the son asked the father, did he want something or whatever. It was like, I guess, some type of food. And the dad was like, no, son, I'm good. Basically, like, no, I'm good. And he was like, oh, well, I brought it just for you. It's not for me. It's for you. And the mom was like, oh, I would like some. And the son was like, no, it's for dad. You're going to have to ask dad if he want to give you some or whatever. So the dad was like, after a couple of seconds, the dad asked the wife, do you want some or whatever? And she's like, no, I'll, I'll get some later. I guess it was probably like a trial question, like just to see what he would say, And then you could see under the table, they pan under the table, and the son kind of like rub his foot against his dad, like footsies. So it was like, bruh, okay. So then after, I guess that night, the the dad wrote the book or whatever, and the son, though, I don't want to get confused, whatever. Dad wrote the book, and he wanted to show his wife or whatever. But he kind of, I guess he was like, forgive me. He put like a little sticky note, like, forgive me or whatever on it. So I'm like, okay. He's basically coming out to his wife, telling her the whole story or whatever. But she was in the shower. She put the picture. He put the book under the pillow on the bed. And the son was like, oh, Dad, I didn't even know that I forgot this bathroom wasn't working, whatever. So like he was going in the other bathroom in their room, but the mom was taking a shower. He was like, no, your mom taking a shower, I guess. And the son ended up reading the book, and he was like, threw it on the thing. He was like, this is how you feel. This is BS biography or whatever. And me being a poet, I would think you would be, you could do better than this or whatever. So that my video was running out of time. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then the mom never got to read the book, but little did he know the mom already knew. So fast forward to, I guess it was a New Year's party or something, and like after New Year's party was over, the son was like, oh, I'm gonna stay here and help my parents clean up their house or whatever. I don't want to leave them with this mess. He was like, you just go home. So the wife just went home, and this is the night he literally raped his dad. Like the dad was in the tub, chilling, listening to some inspirational stuff with the headphones and the Walkman, and he just was like, Dad, you know how I feel about locked doors. Dad didn't even hear him, so he like banging on the door. So he bust the door down, and the dad's like, no, 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 no. Oh, you can hear it in the background, and he's like, stop, please stop. And the son is like raping him, and the mom is in the room. She hearing everything going on, and it's just like she just turned the TV up. So I'm like, what is this? What's going on? Oh, back to the book. He told his dad, don't let him see it again, or I guess there's gonna be some consequences. So fast forward after he raped him, that night or whatever. I mean that next morning. Well, that night the dad was like sleeping, like basically like a battered person. Like something happened to him, and like he couldn't get over it. He was just like a battered person. Like it was just horrible. You feel me? Like a horrific experience. And it was basically like the dad was in the tub, like you seen his hand like on the side of the tub, just like basically like he gave up. So I'm like, how is this son doing all this? Like you can't fight back. Like you the daddy, fight back. Like you the daddy. But he was just like helpless. I don't know if he felt embarrassed. I don't know what. I don't know if he was embarrassed. I don't know if he started it. Like I wish they would have showed us like what happened before the little kid started feeling that way, They did show like even as a kid, as a little kid, the kid used to always like admire his dad, even in a family photo, he like looking at his dad, like really paying close attention to him. So, what happened? So that morning, the next morning, it's a short film. So that next morning, the dad, I guess, still had the book. He hid it under the floor, the baseboards in the floor. So I guess he was trying to take it out. I don't know if he was going to publish it. I don't know what he was going to do with the book. But the son was still in the house. And the son was like, where you going with that book, whatever. And then he was like, basically threatening him. And he was like, you know what, I'm sorry about last night. And he was saying stuff like, basically making the dad feel like it's his fault. So I don't know if the dad started it and didn't want to do it anymore, or the son always like was doing it, or the son forced the dad to do it. I can't really tell. That's the questions I would like to know. But the son did it, and the son was like, you do basically like you doing this to me, like you can tell it was some type of mental illness. But on the other hand, the dad just eventually just ran outside, got hit by a car, and just like it was horrible. Like he ran outside, got hit by a car, and died. And the son was like, "Oh my God," with the book in his hand. And the mom ran outside and screaming in terror. And the son's like, "Bitch, don't touch him. Go call." The son is like, "Bitch, don't touch him. Go call the ambulance." And I'm like, what? Okay, whatever. She ran, called the ambulance. He died. They had the funeral. Whatever. The mom is just like in a daze. Later on that night, the mom approaches the son like, "Oh, what really happened to your dad? Why, why on your prom night your dad came home and he was just crying?" And I asked him what's wrong. He wouldn't respond. He was just crying. And he sat in the bathroom all night and he was crying. And son was like, "I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about," or whatever. He was like, "I don't know what you're accusing me of." Basically, they got in an argument. And, like, she slapped him. And because he was like, I don't know, I forgot what he said. But he was basically saying some disrespectful stuff to her. And she was like, "You don't talk to me like that." So she slapped him like a normal black woman. So she slapped him, and she slapped him twice, and he slapped her back. This time she kind of like stumbled over, and they basically was going back and forth until like he put her face to the fire. You feel me? Like basically trying to kill her. He put her face to the fire, and after that, like she kind of grabbed we're in Miami, so we don't really have fireplaces, but I guess a little thing that they grab the charcoal with, or push it, or put stuff in a fire with to keep it burning. I don't know, but a little sharp thing. She grabbed it and she was just beating him, and basically in fear for her life. You feel me? I can understand. And like the movie basically ended there, and she actually had to kill her own son. And I was like, you feel me? Oh my God. And I'm like, it's so many questions that I have, like I need the prequel. But to me, the movie's not sick. The topic is taboo. Like, you never really see the parent getting raped by the child, but that gives you something to think about. And maybe this does happen. There's a lot of parents out there who really are afraid of their kids. So I don't know, like, if the mom at a point in time was afraid of her son too and just didn't want to say anything, but I don't know. But that's my review on the movie. And like, comment, subscribe if you like it, and subscribe. Well, so yeah, subscribe to my channel. And I don't know, I have more videos coming. I know I'm new, but I have more videos coming. I just had a lot going on, and I'm gonna make another video about that next. So you might get 2 videos in one day. Thank you.